Hi, and welcome to English-Fabule. Are you learning English? Great. Let's learn English with a very interesting story. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Let's get started.
When a country treats its women badly, it hurts everyone. It does not just hurt the women, it also hurts men and the entire nation. If a country does not treat its women well, it often becomes weak and troubled. Old ways of thinking and living that are unfair to women can make a country unsafe and unstable for all. We need to understand why this happens. Women are key to making any society peaceful and strong. When women are not treated equally, countries can become more violent and less free. This book will show why nations that fail their women also fail themselves. We will explore how certain customs lead to big problems. For example, practices that make women feel less important than men can cause violence and instability for everyone. We will look at how these sexist customs impact a country's peace and safety. It is important for governments and leaders to learn from this. When women are held back, the whole country struggles. We will discover what steps can make countries more peaceful and strong by giving women fair opportunities. 2. A sad story from South Sudan. South Sudan, a new country in East Africa, faces many challenges. One serious problem is cattle raids, where armed groups steal cows from villages. These raids are very dangerous for the people living there. Deborah Akuch, a woman from South Sudan, knows this pain well. In the year 2016, armed men attacked Deborah's village. They took her family's valuable cattle. Her brother, along with other young men from the community, quickly went after the raiders. They hoped to bring their family's cows back safely. However, this chase ended in a terrible tragedy. "My brother and his friends all died in the process," Deborah shared. "His death broke our family." In recent years, thousands of lives have been lost in such raids across South Sudan, causing great instability in the country. These violent cattle raids are closely connected to an old tradition called bride price. For a man to marry in South Sudan, he must pay his future wife's family. This payment often involves a large number of cows. The bride price in some communities can be very high, sometimes ranging from 150 to 300 cows for an average family. It is very hard for many young men to get so many cows through normal, peaceful ways. Because it is so difficult to gather enough cattle legally, some men turn to raiding. They steal cows from other villages or communities to gather the required bride price. Deborah Akuch has experienced this cycle firsthand. Her husband had planned to use his own cows to pay a bride price. When those cows were stolen from them, he felt he had to raid someone else's cattle to get what he needed. This painful link between the custom of bride price and violent raids brings much sadness and danger to families like Deborah's, showing how old traditions can lead to new conflicts. 4. Paying for a wife. In many parts of the world, there is an old custom called bride price. This means a man must give money, cattle, or other valuable items to his wife's family before they can marry. Long ago, this practice was a way for two families to become closer. It helped them build strong relationships and get to know each other well, creating important family ties. However, over time, this custom started to change. It became less about joining families and more about women being seen as an asset, like something that can be traded. This shift is a big problem because it can make things very difficult for women. When a man pays a bride price, he and his family can start to feel like they own his wife. Valerie Hudson, an expert on women, peace, and security, explains this idea. She notes that men sometimes think, "We paid for you, so we can do whatever we want to you." This way of thinking can lead to violence and a lack of respect for women in the home. This practice is not just in one place. It happens in many countries globally. Data from 2016 shows that almost half of the world's population lives where bride price is a custom. It is common in countries across Africa, the Middle East, and parts of Asia. South Sudan is one such country. The large number of cows needed for a bride price in some communities, like Deborah Akuch, creates big challenges. It can be very hard for men to get 150 to 300 cows through normal means. This difficulty sometimes pushes men to seek cows in other, more dangerous ways. While not all bride pricing causes violence, the strong need for these payments can lead to unstable situations. 4. Girls who marry too young. Bride price has a sad connection to another problem, child marriage. This means marrying girls when they are very young, sometimes even before they are 15. Poor families often marry their young daughters early because they need money or cattle. The bride price from a young girl can help her family get money or cows. Sometimes a girl's bride price even helps her brothers get enough cattle to marry their own wives. This creates a strong reason for families to marry off their daughters as early as possible. Marrying young hurts girls badly. Girls who marry when they are children often face violence at home from their husbands. They can also lose their chance to go to school and learn, which stops them from having a good future. A child cannot truly agree to marry. Because of this, some people say that forcing a child to marry is like rape. It stops young girls from living full and healthy lives. The effects on their health are often very bad. This practice shows that some countries do not help women and girls enough. They do not give them access to important things like healthcare and education. Deborah Akuch from South Sudan knows this problem too well. Her family made her marry when she was 16 years old. They wanted the bride price. "My family married me off at a young age because they wanted a bride price," Deborah stated. In her community, forcing girls to marry young is very common. Deborah says that marrying daughters at a young age puts them at great risk. She would not want her own daughters to have such a life. This custom of early marriage for a bride price is a big reason for problems in societies. It harms women and makes countries less stable. 5. A problem with many wives. Polygyny is a custom where one man takes many wives. This practice is found in different countries around the world. It creates a significant social problem because it means there are not enough women for every man to marry. In societies where polygyny is common, some men, often those who are wealthy or powerful, marry several women. This leaves a large number of other men without a chance to marry at all. For example, if a small percentage of men marry multiple wives, a much larger percentage of men, especially the poorer ones, are left without a partner. They are unable to fulfill the common societal expectation of starting a family and having children. This situation leads to a big group of young, unmarried men. These men often feel very angry, frustrated, and without hope. They may feel like they have no future or no respected place in society because they cannot find a wife and build a family. This feeling of being excluded and treated unfairly can grow into a deep sense of injustice and resentment. Such emotions can make young men seek radical solutions to their problems. Such a large population of frustrated and single men poses a serious risk for any country. Armed groups often take advantage of this situation to recruit new members. They understand that these men are looking for a purpose, for status, or for a way to get a wife. Recruiters might promise them a wife, money, or respect if they join their groups. This makes it much easier for these armed groups to grow and cause more conflict and violence within a nation. Research confirms that polygyny is present in all 20 of the most unstable countries across the globe, as noted by organizations like the Fund for Peace. This strong connection highlights how the practice directly contributes to widespread violence and instability within a nation. It clearly shows that customs which disadvantage women also create widespread problems for all people in a country, making it harder for peace and order to exist and for societies to thrive. When men are left without opportunities for marriage and family, the entire social fabric can weaken, leading to greater unrest. 6. Bad for women, bad for countries. It is not only bad for women when they are treated unfairly. It is also bad for men and for entire countries. When a nation does not give women equal rights, it can become more violent and unstable. Governments and leaders need to understand this important lesson as it impacts everyone. Experts have gathered information that shows a clear connection between how women are treated and a country's peace and safety. They use a special score to measure how much a country treats women badly. This sexism score goes from 0 to 16. 0 means women are treated best, with many rights and opportunities. 16 means they are treated worst, facing many limits and unfairness. Then, this score is compared to how stable a country is, also called its fragility. A high fragility score means the country has many problems and is not peaceful. A clear and strong pattern appears from this data. Countries that treat women badly are often much more unstable and have more conflict. For example, rich and safe countries like Australia, Sweden, and Switzerland have the best possible sexism score of 0. These nations are known to be very stable and peaceful. On the other hand, countries that score very high for sexism often face many serious problems. Iraq, Nigeria, Yemen and Pakistan all have high sexism scores, often around 15. South Sudan, a very new country, scores even worse. These same nations are known to be very fragile. They often struggle with widespread violence, poor government, and much social trouble. This clear link shows that when a country oppresses its women, it ultimately struggles with peace and safety for everyone living there. 7. Women make peace. Countries do better when women are strong. When women have more power, societies become more peaceful and stable. This is a clear path to making things better for everyone. When societies invest in girls, they grow into healthier women. When they invest in women, families become healthier and wealthier. This makes countries more strong and able to handle problems. Look at Liberia, a country in West Africa. It had a long, violent civil war. But women there decided to make a change. In 2003, hundreds of women started peaceful protests. A peace activist named Asatu Ba Kenneth was one of them. She and other women sat in the rain and sun. They wanted the government to listen. Their brave actions showed everyone the power of peaceful protest. Their actions were strong. A delegation of women went to Ghana, where leaders were holding peace talks. The women made sure the fighting groups could not leave the room. They put a lot of pressure on them. Because of the women's strong stand, the warring groups were forced to sign a peace agreement. This important agreement ended the war. The peace in Liberia lasted. Asatu and other women still work hard to keep it that way. They talk to people who might cause problems. They use radio shows and community meetings to spread their message of peace. For women, when they stand for something, they stand for it for good. Women do not just end wars, they also help peace last longer. When women are part of peace talks, the chance of conflict starting again is much lower. Studies show that peace agreements are 35% more likely to stay strong for 15 years when women are involved. When women can take part in politics in a peaceful way, it leads to real changes in society. This means there is less need to turn to violence. However, women are still often left out of important peace talks. In 2022, only 16% of people who led or helped lead peace talks for the United Nations were women. This number was even lower than in 2020. This shows that the world still needs to fully understand and use the lessons that are known about women and peace. Women have also helped make long-lasting peace in places like Colombia and Northern Ireland. The more women there are in decision-making roles, the easier it is for all women in society to help their country grow. It is clear that empowering women is key to building a better future for all. 8. How to make things better. We have learned that when a nation fails its women, it fails itself. Customs that hurt women can make countries unstable and violent. But when women are strong, countries become more peaceful and rich. Making things better for women everywhere is the clear way forward. Positive changes are happening. Some old traditions that oppress women are becoming less common. For example, the practice of a man having many wives, called polygyny, is slowly declining. Also, the idea that only men can pass down family names and property is changing in some places. These are hopeful signs of progress. Still, much important work remains. Governments need to take strong steps. One is to raise the legal age for marriage for girls to 18 years. This would help end child marriage and give young girls a chance to get an education and grow up safely. Another key step is to give women equal rights to own land and houses. Expert Valerie Hudson suggests these changes would greatly help stabilize countries. When women control their own property, they gain more power and security. Policymakers must remember that a country cannot be strong if half of its people are ignored. In South Sudan, Deborah the Cooch is a strong voice for change. She teaches other women that marrying daughters young puts many futures at risk. Deborah states she would never wish her difficult life upon her daughters. She believes that if women are given the chance to lead, they can change their countries for the better. She asks, "Who is ready to stand with me?" What steps do you think are most important for empowering women in your community?
Hey there! Just a second before you go. If you learned something new today, please give this video a like, write your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second, and it really, really helps to create even better English videos for you. Your support means the world. Thank you.